Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we have another video from another channel. This is the Carolina Gamer. Now over on his channel, he has not only a focus on playthroughs, particularly solo playthroughs, but he also creates his own automas or solo AIs. And then he puts up videos showing you how to use them. So it's pretty awesome, the stuff he has over on his channel. Be sure to go check that out. Click on the link in the description below so you can see what all he has on his channel. Here we go.
This is part 3 of our Street Master solo playthrough. I do need to make a correction from the last video. There were 4 instances where Natalia took damage and I did not or could not discard defense tokens. So we are going to have to unfortunately discard Zane from play. For the first part of the fighter turn, we're going to draw a card from the cartel deck. It is Getaway. Remove Juan from the map and place him in the empty space nearest the entry space that is furthest from any fighter. Then Juan unloads. We've seen that one before. So there are 2 entry spaces on the board. One right here, one right here. So he will go ahead and move to this one. Since there are no objectives on the board currently, I have a little bit of time. So I'm going to go ahead for my action step. I'm going to roll 2 dice to defend to get 2 random defense tokens. So I get 2 kick. I get 2 kick defense tokens. For my play card step, I'm going to play Recon. It is a tactic. It's going to go into play. And it says when an enemy would attack a fighter before dice are rolled, you may discard this card to cancel the attack. I can also exhaust, shuffle 1 stealth card from your discard pile back into your deck to reveal the top card of any deck. Then, if no stealth cards remain in your discard pile, discard this card. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into play. For my last step, which is a move step, I'm going to move into cover. 1, 2. Alright, now the enemy is going to activate. So Juan is going to gain 2 random defense tokens and moves up to 3 spaces to be within 4 spaces of the nearest fighter. So here is 2 random defense tokens. 2 punches. We'll go ahead and place those by his character, so he has a lot of defense tokens. Next, Juan is going to move up to 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. The carbine would activate, but we are not within 4 spaces of him, so it will not activate. And we did not move adjacent to him, so on alert does not activate as well. Moving on to the stage step, there's nothing to activate as there are no objectives currently on the board. For the stage rules card, and then for distribution network, there are no inactive objectives on the board as well. We will go ahead and draw a new stage card, and we have a new objective. So we'll go ahead and place this in the stage area. It's important to note that when these are picked up by either the fighter or the enemy, these move from the stage area to either the fighter area or the enemy area. I left that in the purple objective last video in the stage area, but technically it should have moved into Juan's area. And I'll go ahead and place the yellow objective on its inactive side on the yellow objective spot. I just realized that we forgot to activate my threat area, so let's do that now before we move back on to the fighter turn. So pin down says activate if you are not in a cover space. Well, I am. This card deals you 1 direct damage. If you are in a cover space, gain 1 random defense token. So I'll do that now. We got a grapple. And then Ignacio is going to activate. I am not within 5 spaces of him, so he's going to advance 3 spaces, try to attack if he's adjacent to me, and then retreat. Since I'm not within 5 spaces of Ignacio, he's going to move 3 spaces, try to attack if I'm not adjacent to him, and then he's going to retreat 2 spaces. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, and then retreat 2. Alright, now it's back to the fighter turn, so we need to draw a new cartel card. Another on alert. When a fighter moves into a space adjacent to Juan, he retreats 3 spaces from that fighter. If he retreated, Juan then gains 2 random defense tokens, unloads, and discards this card. So, another on alert tactic for Juan to upgrade himself with. And we'll go ahead and place this in the enemy area. So for my first step, I'm going to move. I'm going to move towards that yellow objective, but I also want to collect that loot along the way. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. And you don't have to end your turn on the crate token to collect it. You just have to walk through it. So I'll go ahead and gather a loot. Another lead pipe. This is our second one. Discard this card to deal 3 direct damage to an adjacent enemy. That's fantastic, but we have to be close to him, and those on alerts, we got to get our defense up because they are just going to hurt when he unloads on us. Next, we're going to play the feint effect on my commando card. So it says move 3 spaces and play 1 attack card from your discard pile. So I'm going to move on to this objective, 1, 2. And then I get to play a card from my discard pile, and I'm going to play Razor's Edge. If you are unengaged, which I am, attack with 2 red dice. This attack may target an enemy within 5 spaces of you, dealing a single type of damage of your choice. And don't forget, when I played that commando feint effect, it then goes to my discard pile. So I'm not going to get +1 dice to my attacks. So I'm going to attack Juan, who's only 4 spaces away from me, and I attack with 2 red dice. We got 2 hits, and we're going to say it is punch. I probably should have called that before I rolled, but it's what it is. So we're going to do 2 punch damage to Juan, and Juan is simply going to remove 2 punch defense tokens from his player area. For my action step, because so far I've only done a move step. I've done a move and I've done a feint, which feint doesn't count as a step. It's like a little bonus I get. For my action step, I'm going to interact with the objective token per the stage rules, and I can discard 1 objective token in your space and shuffle its card back into the stage deck, and then gain 2 defense tokens of my choice. So I'm going to gain a grapple and a punch to give me 1 of each type. And don't forget, we have to shuffle the yellow objective back into the stage deck. For my play a card step, I'm going to play another copy of Commando that was sitting in my hand so that my attacks get +1. So we'll move on to activating my threat area. Pin down is going to activate, and since I'm not in cover, I'm going to take 1 direct damage. Then Ignacio is going to activate, and I am within 5 spaces of this enemy, so I'm going to get 1 general damage for each defense token this enemy has. So that's 3 general damage. So I'm going to block that. Since it's general, I can choose the defense tokens I want to get rid of. I'm going to block it with a kick. I'm going to block it with a grapple, and I'm going to block it with a punch. That now gives us 7 power on our card, so 6 of these will be discarded, and we're going to flip to our more powerful side. We will stay charged up until we perform the action on Natalia's card, which is to attack with 3 red die, and it deals direct damage. But while we're still charged up, we may move up to 2 additional spaces during our move step, and your attacks deal +1 direct damage. So I kind of don't want to play that action step because I want to stay charged up. Now we're going to activate the second part of Ignacio, which says advance 3 spaces toward the nearest fighter, attack, and then retreat 2 spaces. 1, 2, 3. And then he's going to retreat 2 spaces, which is directly opposite of us. So 1, 2. The enemy is now going to activate. So since Juan is not engaged, he's going to gain 2 random defense tokens and move up to 3 spaces to be within 4 spaces of the nearest fighter. So we have a kick and a grapple. He is already within 4 spaces of the nearest fighter, so he will not move. Then we're going to activate the carbine, and he is going to unload. So we're going to discard 1 power from this card, and we're going to be dealt 4 general damage. We're going to block 2 of those, making those power-ups. And we're going to take 2 more damage. So we're going to switch these 3 out for another 5, which will put us at 10 total damage of 18. Moving on to the stage step, there are no objective tokens on the board, so we'll go ahead and just draw a new card. Drive-by. This card deals each fighter not in a cover space 2 general damage and 1 direct damage, so we're taking another 3 damage. If there's no inactive objective in play, draw 1 stage card, so we're going to be drawing another card after taking our 3 damage. Not looking too hot. Another 3 damage to Natalia. And we're drawing another card. Oh my. Alright, same thing, another 3 damage. So we're now at 16 of 18. Contraband, green objective, so we'll go ahead and place this on the board and put this card in the stage area. Moving on to the fighter turn, we're going to draw a card from the cartel deck. and it's a Lucille. She comes into play with 2 punch defense tokens and 2 grapple defense tokens. Enemies adjacent to Lucille are immune to direct damage. That would be terrible for us if she gets next to Juan. She will come onto the board at the spawn place that is nearest to Natalia, which is right up here. For my first step, I'm going to move into cover and try to attack Ignacio. And don't forget, I can move an additional 2 spaces during your move step since I am on my charged up side. And my attacks deal +1 direct damage. So I want to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This also allows me to be in cover. I am then going to play a card, which is a Sonic Blade. Attack with 2 red dice, which is actually 3 red dice because of commando. Before this attack, you may discard up to 3 cards from your hand or your fighter player area to add +1 die to this attack for each card discarded. And this is going to do a punch attack. So we are going to discard 2 cards from our hand to get +2 dice. So we're rolling 1, 2, 3, 4 from the cards, and 5 from commando. I only have 4 dice that came in the base game, so I'll have to roll and then re-roll once the results come in. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a punch defense token, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, and then we have to roll 1 more dice because I needed a 5th dice, and 1 more dice because of the crit. So we're at 4 hits so far. Another punch defense token. 5 hits, and we get to roll another die. And another punch defense token. So we're at 5 punch attacks, and then also I deal +1 direct damage because I'm on my charged up side. So Ignacio is going to block 2 of the punch attacks and take 3 damage. This gives him 4. He will also take 1 direct damage. So we've moved, we've played a card, and now for my action step, I'm going to do the action step on Infiltrate. I'm going to reveal the top card of my deck and either put that card into play or discard it. I'm hoping for an ability or an attack card because I really don't want to get another tactic because I probably won't be able to put it into play. Tactic Commando, well, unfortunately we have a commando already out, so this just fizzles and goes out of play. But then it says, you may discard this card to attack with 2 red dice, dealing direct damage. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I get a defense token of my choice. Let's go ahead and you get a grapple. So I got 4 hits plus my Natalia bonus for being charged up. So it's 5 direct damage to Ignacio, which is enough to take him out. Don't forget, when you defeat a minion, you get to draw a loot card. Could really use some healing. At any time, you may discard this card to move an enemy up to 3 spaces. So I think I'm actually going to play my Molotov Cocktail now, as well as my Stink Bomb. So Molotov Cocktail reads, discard this card to choose a space within 3 spaces of you. Each figure in or adjacent to that chosen space is dealt 3 general damage. So I'll discard this, and I'll deal Juan 3 general damage, just to get rid of some of his defense tokens. And we will take 3 grapple away from him. Next, we will play Stink Bomb. At any time, you may discard this card to move an enemy up to 3 spaces. So I want to move Juan away from me and the objective, but I don't want to be close enough where he can unload on me. So I'm going to move him 1, 2, 3. So now that I've played all my steps, we're going to activate the cards in my threat area. So for Pin Down, I'm going to gain 1 random defense token. I get a punch. So Lucille reads, attack each fighter engaged with this enemy and move 3 spaces toward the nearest engaged enemy. Then each other enemy within 4 spaces of this enemy gains 1 random defense token. So she doesn't do anything. She's just going to sit up there. She's not moving. I like that. So Juan is going to activate, gain 2 random defense tokens, and moves up to 3 spaces to be within 4 spaces of the nearest fighter. So we'll go ahead and give him 2 random defense tokens. We have 2 grapple. He's then going to move towards me to be within 4 spaces. So he's going to move 1, 2, and he's within 4 spaces of me. We are then going to discard 1 power from his carbine to activate it, and it's going to deal us 4 general damage, which we are going to block 4 punch defense tokens. And that will be enough. As soon as we use our special ability, we can flip over again. For the stage turn, we're going to activate from left to right. Each enemy carrying an objective moves 3 spaces toward the nearest entry space. Well, currently no enemies are carrying an objective. And then for each inactive objective, choose the enemy nearest it that is not carrying an objective, move the chosen enemy 3 spaces towards that objective, and then exhaust each minion moved this way. So Juan is going to move towards the objective. 1, 2, 3. We're then going to draw a supply and demand card. The red contraband objective comes out. Quick note, on my last turn, I forgot to draw a card at the end of my turn, so I will go ahead and do that now. And we have a Sonic Blade, which currently gives us 2 in our hand. We'll go ahead and move to the next round. We'll draw a cartel card. It's a Tyrone who comes in with 1 punch defense, 1 kick defense, and 1 grapple defense. He has 5 health and attacks with 3 white dice. When he activates, he advances 3 spaces toward the nearest fighter and attacks. If this enemy did not attack, the nearest fighter must discard 1 power, 1 defense token, or 1 card. We will go ahead and put him on the board at the nearest entry space, which is right here. For my first action, I'm going to play the commando action, which says each fighter gains 2 defense tokens of their choice. Then each fighter with at least 1 of each type heals 2 damage. So I'm going to take a kick and a punch. And since I have 1 of each type, I'm going to heal 2 damage. Next, I'm going to move on the board. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gain a loot. During your turn, you may either give this card to a fighter adjacent to you or discard this card to heal 3 damage. Yes! So we'll go ahead and discard that now to heal 3 damage. So now I'm going to discard Commando using the Feint effect to move 3 spaces and play 1 attack card from your discard pile. So I'm going to move 1. I only have 1 attack card in my discard pile. It's a disarm. It's a grapple attack. Attack with 2 red dice. After resolving this attack, you may discard 1 card controlled by the target or draw 1 card. So I'm going to attack with 2 red dice. It's a crit and a success and a defense. So I'll roll another dice. So we're looking at 3 hits and a grapple defense. Don't forget we're charged up, so we get +1 to direct damage. So we're going to do 3 grapple damage. He's going to block 1 of them. Take 2 damage of his 5. The direct damage is going to go through. And then we're going to discard a lead pipe to deal 3 direct damage to an adjacent enemy. Smack them in the face. So 3 plus another 3 is 6, so Tyrone is gone. We can't forget to draw a loot card for that. A stick bomb. At any time you may discard this card to move an enemy up to 3 spaces. I'm actually going to play this now on Juan so that he can't get to the green objective this turn. So we're going to move him 1, 2, 3. I wish there was a way for me to get back into cover, but there's not. And I can't play a card from my hand because I only have 2, and they're both Sonic Blades. That means I have to be adjacent to an enemy. I have to be engaged with them in order to attack. So that's going to have to be the end of my turn. Alright, so now we're going to move on to activating my threat area. I'm going to get 1 direct damage, giving us 12 damage of our 18. Remember, I can't block that. And Lucille isn't going to move because I'm not engaged with any defenders. Okay. I can't forget to draw a card, which is a Razor's Edge. This is good for when I'm unengaged, which is perfect for right now. Juan is going to activate. He's going to gain 2 random defense tokens and moves up to 3 spaces to be within 4 spaces of the nearest fighter. a kick, and a grapple. So he's going to move 3 to be within 4 of me. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, which puts him within 4 of me. Then we're going to put 2 more. He's reloading his carbine power onto the carbine card. So we get a little relief this turn. Those tactics are crushing me because I can't get in there and hit them. Moving on to the stage phase. Each enemy carrying an objective moves 3 spaces toward the nearest entry space. Well, there are none. For each inactive objective, choose the enemy nearest it that is not carrying an objective. Move that chosen enemy 3 spaces toward that objective, then exhaust each minion moved that way. So Juan is going to activate 1, 2, 3, and then we need to draw a card from the stage. The blue contraband objective comes out. Additionally, since there were 2 inactive objectives on the board when distribution network activated, Cecilia would have moved as well. So 1, 2, 3, as she was moving towards the red objective. And then the blue objective would have come out. So now it's time to move back to the fighter turn. We're going to draw a new cartel card. It's Ignacio, and he's going to come out on the board right next to me. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to exhaust Recon to shuffle 1 stealth card from your discard pile back into your deck to reveal the top card of any deck. Then, if no stealth card remains in your discard pile, discard this card. Well, we have lots of stealth cards in our discard pile now, so we're going to shuffle a copy of Commando back into our deck. Additionally, we get to look at the top card of a deck. So I want to see what's coming up from supply and demand because I cannot afford to hit another drive-by. It's going to be a crossfire, so we want to make sure we get into cover because we don't want this going off and then it drawing another card. So we're going to play Sonic Blade from our hand, which is a punch attack. We're going to attack for 2 dice, and before this attack, you may discard up to 3 cards to add +1 die to this attack for each card discarded. So we're going to discard the other copy of Sonic Blade in our hand to get another die, giving us a total of 3. So we have a crit, so let's roll another die. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, +1 damage from our special Natalia charged up side. So it's 4 punch damage, 1 direct damage, and 2 punch defense tokens. So we'll go ahead and put 5 damage on Ignacio. And we'll go ahead and discard a lead pipe to deal another 3 damage direct to him, just to get rid of him. And hopefully I can draw another loot and it will be another turkey platter. So Ignacio's gone. We draw a loot. And it is cash. At any time you may discard this card to exhaust a minion within 4 spaces of you. So once Juan gets this green objective, he's going to try to clear it out by going to this entry space because that is closer than this one down here. So I need to work my way up there. So I'm going to move for my move step 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and land in cover. For my action step, I'm just going to gain 2 random defense tokens. So I get a kick and a punch. Next, we're going to activate the cards in our threat area. So we're going to be able to gain 1 random defense token, which is a grapple, since we are in cover. And then Lucille, she's not going to move, but she is going to give Juan 1 random defense token. So he's going to get a punch. And then we get to draw a card, which is a Rush B. Moving on to the enemy activation, Juan is going to gain 2 random defense tokens and moves up to 3 spaces to be within 4 spaces of the nearest fighter. So 2 random defense tokens. Grapple. He will move in a straight line until he can't. So 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that'll put him within 4 of me. So now Juan is going to unload, and we're going to discard 1 power from this, which we are going to block with 3 punches and a grapple. I think it's about time that I just get in there and start attacking. For the stage turn, there are no enemies currently carrying an objective. So then for each inactive objective, choose the enemy nearest it that is not carrying an objective, and move that chosen enemy 3 spaces toward that objective. Then exhaust each minion moved this way. So Lucille is going to go ahead and grab the blue objective. Juan has a choice between red and green, and I think I'm going to have him take the red one. Additionally, Lucille becomes exhausted, so the next time she would activate, she'll just unexhaust. And we can't forget to move the objective cards to their appropriate spots. So Lucille will get the blue one, and Juan will get the red one. We're then going to draw a stage card. Crossfire. We knew this one was coming. Each figure, not fighter, not in a cover space, suffers 1 direct damage. Then each fighter in a cover space may draw 1 card. I'll go ahead and draw a card. Snap Kick. It's an attack, stealth. Attack with 1 die. Then after this attack, you may discard 1 card to attack again, adding +1 die to the attack for each stealth card in your discard pile. Oh man, that's good. And we can't forget that both Lucille and Juan are going to take a direct damage. So Lucille takes a direct damage. Juan takes a direct damage. And don't forget the objectives say, after a figure carrying the objective suffers any amount of damage, that figure must discard 1 defense token. If unable to, drop this objective. So for Lucille, we're going to discard a punch. And for Juan, we are going to discard a punch. I think we'll leave it there for this video. Come back and see if Natalia has what it takes to knock down Juan.